Okay. Gemini.
What do you know about it?
Privatized paramilitary owned by Clay Barris. Agency does a lot of business with them. Is there more?
Brian and I served under Veris in the Marines, in Panama, Kuwait, Somalia. After he left the military, he started Gemini, tried to hire us. We both told him no.
Except I was smart enough to move 1,500 miles away.
Yeah, I blew that one.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening once again. You have chosen wisely. Maybe.
The greater good.
The greater good. This is episode... Cheapseat Reviews. That's who we are. We are a podcast, and we're a podcast that does things. We are the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good. There we go. That works.
What I thought about doing is, I just remembered I wanted to do this bit, and I'm not going to go back and re-edit this because it's not worth it.
We don't do that kind of thing.
We also don't do that kind of thing. But I know, Sam, you've watched WandaVision. I'm pretty sure, Andrew, you have too.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was going to do is I was going to change the intro without telling you guys just to see if you would pick it up. So I was going to say is Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the children.
For the children.
Yeah. So, but I didn't know if you would catch on fast enough, just so anyway. But as soon as that part happened in the show, it immediately reminded me of this moment here
Right.
For the greater good and where we stole that from. This is episode 332. We're not going to talk about WandaVision, which is as fun as that would be.
Man, we could talk for a long time, especially since we don't know where it's going.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Right?
Yeah, and I binged episodes 1 through 4, which the 4 available, but
That might have been the best way to do it
think it
because
kinda was.
the first two are a little slow if you don't know where it's going.
Well,
right?
there's a lot of nuggets that you have to remember going forward, and I only had to remember an hour, as opposed to you that had to remember back 2 weeks. Unless you watch 1 and then watch 1 and then 2 and then watch 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Which somebody I know may have done for The Mandalorian.
Holy crap.
I only did it for okay. Anyway, this is episode 332, and tonight we're talking about Gemini Man.
The greater good.
Gemini Man. He's not a Marvel guy. He does kind of sound like a villain from the Mega Man series, though. But
He does.
yeah.
And for some reason, I thought Jurassic Park Crichton wrote a book called Gemini Man, but I could not find it anywhere.
Oh,
I don't think apparently he didn't, but for some reason I thought this was a Crichton thing.
that's interesting.
Right?
I'm actually curious now because I know there's Omega Man, which the movie
Yeah,
I Am
maybe-
Legend is based on.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything called Michael.
Not that I could not find his a list of it. So
Interesting. If I just did Michael Crichton Man, he's got Terminal Man.
yeah, maybe Terminal Man, I believe, is probably what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is why he popped into my head. But no, he didn't do it. But doesn't this feel a little like something he would do? Right?
Yeah,
A little sciencey,
Yeah.
cloning.
Uh,
The action around it. It just feels like a Crichton story.
It kind of does. You're right. It actually really does feel like a Crichton thing. You guys are gonna giggle, and I know you because you always do. But it also kind of feels like a modern take on a Philip K. Dick book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's along that same kind of line,
Yeah.
right? The use of technology and where it could lead us type of idea.
Definitely.
I held back the giggle.
It's funny because I
Oh.
remember when we did Paycheck, not Payback,
Yeah.
but Paycheck. You and Chad giggled every time, so I had to stop seeing his full name. I just had to use Philip. Me and Philip. Author Philip. I am Sean Hallred, and joining me tonight is Andrew, who only feels happy when he's on his belly and is about to squeeze a juice box. Jemison.
Oh.
That's so sweet.
Well, no, I was upset.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because usually when I'm on my belly, I'm asleep.
Oh,
And that's when I'm happy.
Yeah.
there. That's fair.
That's true.
I was trying to think of something that would, because I didn't want to, have you do squeeze a trigger, because that doesn't sound like you at all. That's why I thought, well, what would he be squeezing? Juice box sounds right, or I don't know. I couldn't think of anything that would be PG-13.
That's safe. Yeah.
And Sam, we can podcast now or in 5 minutes minus your teeth. Vector.
Wow. All right. Well, let's keep the teeth. And how about this? How about I take some of your teeth with a good uppercut from a motorcycle as I run it across your face?
Okay, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Just a little shave with the
Yeah.
motorcycle.
No, it'd be a pretty close shave. I'll give you some road rash from the tire.
Yeah. That's a good close shave. You using Gillette? No, it's a Kawasaki. Oh, okay. That's cool. All right, man. Gemini Man 2019. I will admit a couple things up front, and then there's going to be something else I want to do up front before we do anything else. Okay? Because I feel like I have to do this. So the first thing I want to say is that I put this on the list because as soon as I saw it was streaming, I wanted to do this movie because I actually wanted to see this in the theater. I miss the Will Smith action flicks. I miss them and I love them. And I've not seen Bad Boys 3 because my brother-in-law, who I usually disagree with on his movie selection, but we both 100% agree on the Bad Boy franchise 1 and 2. We both love them. And he said that Bad Boys 3 was so bad that it hurts the franchise. So I've decided not to watch it. We might do it for the podcast, but
it's like the last season of Game of Thrones completely killed the momentum of that entire series.
That's fair. That's fair to say. I having only watched the final episode and the Starbucks cup, I can only say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you're saying, and a lot of people said the same thing. So,
Yep.
So this was my choice. So whether you hate it or love it, this one's on me, and I'm here to say that I'm going to stand behind my decision because I had a good time with this. And
I didn't have a bad time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time with it. I think I like Ang Lee as a director. And the only when we get more into it,
we're going to get to it. We're going to do it now. We're going to do this now.
Okay.
Before we do 5-word reviews, which we all have, and I have 2 of them. I usually don't, but I have 2 of them. I'm just going to do this now so we can get it out of the way. Yes, there is some uncanny valley things happening.
Uncanny valley, yeah. But
Yes.
but the majority is good.
It actually is pretty good.
Yeah,
And
I was surprised at how good
the
majority of those scenes are.
The most of the time, the only 2 times really that it. What about you, Andrew? You haven't said anything yet. I'm just curious about the uncanny valley. Did it bother you?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it. I guess I expected it, and so I kind of ignored it. But there were a few moments, I guess, that did bother me a little.
So if you're doing the show where if you're listening to the episode and you haven't watched the movie, this is not one I suggest you have to watch, but I think you should because it's a lot of fun. But here's what I thought was going to happen, and then what they did instead I thought was actually better. So usually if you have a scenario where you have an actor who has to play another character but himself, they usually just have them do the same thing. But Ang Lee is smart enough, because he's a good director, said 50-year-old body, Will Smith, his body is different than 23-year-old Will Smith's body. So they hired, and I haven't looked it up, and I need to look it up. They hired a different person to play his clone, an actor.
Yeah, they got Jada Pinkett Smith to be in there.
Okay, someone's slighter, someone the same height, but someone's slighter in build because he wouldn't have an extra 30 years of bulk and fat. So, and then they do the little dots all over his face, and then they mapped Will Smith's face onto his. And so by doing that, there's some there's some a little bit of weirdness, some a little bit. That's not a phrase, but there's some weirdness with. It's like I was Mario for a second there.
It's a Mario.
Yeah, it's a little bit of pizza. There's a little bit of, like the micro expressions don't quite work. You know, there's a couple.
The slow expressions
Yeah,
tend to be worse than any kind of talking or fast. It's when they're trying to emote through the eyes that I think is when it gets bad.
I mean those eyes are probably either Will Smith's eyes or the actors.
Yeah.
But to me, it was the mouth part, like when he's having like the quiet chat scene with Clive Owen. A couple of moments that kind of got me a little bit, and there was a couple of other moments, but for the most part, it was really good, and you just kind of thought, okay, they did it. They did a really good job. I mean, I think this is better than, like Leia from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job. So I just wanted to do that out front because I don't want.
But it also makes me wonder what would happen if they deep faked it. Right? Using Will Smith's older images, which there's a plenty of his face when he was 20 something years old, if deep fake would have made it look better. Right?
I'm trying to think, but I guess I don't know if it would have. The thing is that when you do it that way, though, you're literally just CGIing everything, right? You're literally having to computer everything. So like the actor's not doing anything.
Well, no. The way that works is it basically maps the face and then puts an actor's face on it in that same how can you say it, expression.
Yeah, and what they could have done if they were going to do deep fake is they could have recorded it with just Will Smith or his body double just doing all the parts, his younger body double doing all the parts, and then deep fake just the face. And so
I think that's what they
Will
did.
Smith is not doing the acting, but
that's what they did here. The Will Smith is not acting as Junior. That's another actor, and he's acting. And they put those little sensor dots on his face so that when they map Will Smith's face over it, it's just that mask that's reacting to his movements.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the same thing, right? I think that's kind of the
I'm not 100% sure. I'm really not, because it'd be something to look up, but I don't think it was. I think they literally were doing frame by frame, trying to basically manipulate Will Smith's 50-year-old face onto the body.
Oh, I don't think they did that at all. I haven't found anything that would suggest how they did the technology.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's what they did. I think it's the same technology they did for Avatar, or any other time you have to have a different, an actor is having to be a CGI thing. Like Avatar is the best thing I can come up with. But like they had those little sensor dots all over their faces, and they have a camera that's literally looking at their face, so it can map what they're doing, so that when they put them into blue people, they have those emotes. I think it's the same thing. They just, instead of it being a blue alien, which we have no visual reference what is, so we don't care what they look like. It's just Will Smith's face, which is why we cue in on it going, it's a little off. But anyway, I think it was pretty good. I mean, actually, I think it's really good. And only like 2 or 3 times where I was like, yeah, that's obviously not Will Smith, but it didn't bother me that much. So now that we've done that, we can talk about the rest of the movie and the merits of the movie and what we liked and what we didn't like. And we'll start off with Sam and his 5-word review.
All right. So my 5-word review, and this is going to sound harsher than I meant it to be, because I'll talk about that here in a second. But my 5-word is superb action in soulless story. And the reason I say that, first of all, the action in this movie is amazing. The motorcycle chase scene is flipping out of this world. It's so good. The fight scenes felt like punches were being thrown, right? It felt physical and it felt really, really good. The problem I have in this movie is that in terms of emotional connections to these characters, I don't feel like it was quite there. I think at the end we were supposed to be absolutely gut wrenched when the what looked to be 16, 18-year-old kid is dead in the hardware store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Junior, not Junior, what do they call him? No,
Yeah, they called him Junior, or he calls himself
Junior.
Junior.
Sorry, yeah, and I think Junior was supposed to be like a son surrogate to Will, not Will Smith, to whatever his name is,
Clive
the older
Henry.
Will Smith. What is it?
Henry.
Henry, right? And I just felt like that the story of that connection was never really didn't come out as well as it probably could. The chick that Corny loves, I can never remember her name.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, I don't know if I like her in this movie. I like that she didn't turn into a love interest, which I was worried about there for a little while.
Me too. I noted that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we just talked about that a few weeks ago with the age difference and things like that. But I was proud of the fact that the director didn't go in that direction. But I don't know if she sold me completely on her character. But the action alone makes this at least worth seeing. And I would love to see someone try to take that shot he took on the train at the beginning of the film and make it. So it was cool. It was a cool little movie. I'm glad I watched it. It was a good action flick. Just like a lot of Ang Lee's stuff, I think he tried to get heady in it and just didn't quite get there.
All right.
So that's about it on my end.
Okay. So while I was partially listening to your really good point, I was reading up. So here, I just found an article on how they did Junior. So I'm wrong. I'm 100% wrong in how they did that. The Junior character is 100% CGI. It's a dude in a green suit, in a green screen suit. It's not. I thought it was like they just CGI'd someone. No, it's just a green screen body. The younger character is 100% digitally created. They didn't take my image and stretch on some of the lines. It's completely CGI character the way they did The Lion King. They used my performance to create CGI elements. The skin is CGI. That's not my skin. To achieve the seamless young CGI version of the 51-year-old actor, Ang Lee worked with visual effects company Weta Digital. You have to invent a new way to do it, said the director. I think Junior being a CG character is a requirement with this. It's a whole package. We do the whole body, not just the face. We go into detail probably no one has gone before with the layers. Talking about how they getting into the meat of the film. You can't just do it with makeup to erase wrinkles. You have to do a different hairstyle. Basically, they used footage from his time as in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Bad Boys, so they could get his body size right.
Okay.
And then Smith joked that I get to see all the tragedies I committed in entertainment, being because he gets to look back at himself. So I was wrong on that. So that's, I don't know, that's really interesting. Because I will say, because you said some of the fight scenes are really great. They really are.
Yes, they are.
And there's a couple of moments when they're fighting in the catacombs in whatever country they're in. There's a couple of moments where they got a little bendy.
Yeah.
You know, in the fight where I could tell it was a little CGI-y, but I just thought they were just using that to help sell the fight. I didn't realize that meant that the fight scene they would have been CGI'd. Both of them. Right?
And that one moment took me out just a little bit in the catacombs in that fight scene, because the speed at which these punches were being thrown, and I've watched professional wrestling and fighting, and I've seen, and I'm not talking about like WWE, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the MMA and that kind of stuff. It didn't feel realistic at times. I felt like they almost look like what's his name, Mr. Fantastic, with the arms stretching
With
too
stretchy
far from the
arms.
body,
Yeah.
and it felt a little bit unrealistic in that one scene for me.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit, honestly, of like Avengers. Like at the speed, like it reminded me of like the Thanos when he's fighting the Hulk. Like the speed's just a little off because these are beings of such enormous strength that it would be different.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
it kind of got that way because there was a couple moments where I thought, okay, Will Smith is really great, but is he physically gifted? Is he is you know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple times where I thought that. But anyway. Well, what you got for a 5-word, Andrew?
I have better than the critics said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember when this came out, there was a lot of hate for this movie. It didn't get a lot of good reviews from some people. And I couldn't figure out why. Yeah, and I haven't seen it until today. I watched it today, a few hours ago. And okay. There was a little bit of an issue with the CGI, a little bit. But that aside, the action is good. The story is good. I think it's mostly original. I don't think we've seen anything like this before. It was just a good film. I won't say that it's Oscar worthy or anything, but it's certainly well done and better than a lot of movies that we've seen before.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. IMDb has it a 5.7. I'm just wondering if because Will Smith has had a kind of a rash of some bad movies recently.
Yeah.
And going back to After Earth, which was just panned, and
Well, I mean, have you seen it?
I've not. I haven't seen it.
Don't, because I suffered through about 45 minutes before I turned it off.
Okay.
It was really, really bad.
And I think that there's some other bad ones that he's done too. I mean, I've only seen part of Suicide Squad, and I didn't really much care for it either. Now, again, that's not my bag of tricks, those types of movies, but even
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't have. It wasn't like I turned it off. It was I didn't have time to sit and watch it, but
Okay.
it wasn't enough that I went, Now that I have HBO now, I definitely need to sit and watch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll watch it at some point. Honestly, we're gonna have to do it for the podcast to make me watch it. Honestly,
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is that I agree with you, Andrew. Is that I don't think it's a bad movie. Now, to your point, I will say this, Andrew, about the being original. I think the element of the clone is obviously original. I think that's new. The idea of an agent that's really good at his thing, who then learns more than he should, is now being attacked by his government and has to kill high enough the chain to stop it. We've seen that movie before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of times. Heck, we've done it. We've done that movie for the podcast, I'm sure. So that part's not really all that original. I think the Bourne trilogy. Well, I guess there's 5 of them now. Whatever that is. The Pentology. I don't know. I made that up. that series did it fine, and frankly, I think a little bit better in some cases. But I still like that genre. I like that genre, honestly, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with kind of big, creepy government guy that has too much power in the CIA and is able to get away with these things and stuff like that.
Well, and can we all just say how cool when they took out that gun and were aiming it at the hardware store, and the tracer bullets were going through everywhere.
The minigun? Yeah.
Holy crap. I was literally sitting there mouth agape like, oh, I love this. I am in love with this right now.
Yeah.
That's such a good part. Oh.
That is, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff. I mean, the action scenes, again, are really good. Here we go. Here's my 5-word. I have 2. So, and again, I had to compound a word to make it 5. So my first one is Attack of the Will Clones. Little Star Wars Attack of the Clones
ooh.
reference.
Oh,
Okay.
dear Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not funny. I just
Which is why it is.
yeah. My second one is, again, I had to compound one word, but choose your weapon. A dirt bike?
A dirt bike. Yeah, and who trains like that, right? There's only you'd have to train to be able to fight with a dirt bike like that.
Yeah.
I would think, right?
It's just one of those things where you're wondering, like, at what part of training did this come up? Where Clive Owen was like, at some point you might need to attack a guy with a dirt bike, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I don't know.
It's like in all the Bond movies, right? You know, there has to be a circumstance in which he's learning to do some of these tricks and trade of the trade that he does.
Yeah.
But you know, is it a classroom setting or is it?
Yeah, is it all? Is it practicum? Is there? Or do they just take him out and throw him in the ocean and put weights on his feet?
There you go. Now that's something. What was the point of that? I don't understand that part.
Which part?
Why?
Well,
why
I
was
think
he
we kept
drowned?
waiting for that to come to fruition somehow. I think is what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, I don't understand quite why he was basically tortured in that way.
Oh, in the training, in the part where he talks about how he took him out to the boat and dropped him in.
Yeah.
I think,
Was it to toughen him up, or I mean, it seemed strange to me.
I guess maybe to see if he was willing to die for him.
Okay,
That's something.
But that is something in the movie that wasn't totally clear.
Yeah, that's something I can think of. I mean, the fact that he has a fear of drowning has a payoff, right? Because when they both fall in the water, Senior, he goes down. Junior's able to swim away, and then Senior has to get saved by the girl from...
Yeah, but I kind of got the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves moment where he's drowning in the river and then he just stands up and realizes it's just knee deep, right?
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
I didn't feel like that was really a payoff. And to be honest, I didn't really think the whole allergic to bees thing was a payoff either. I mean, yeah, we see it for a second. I thought, you know, when that first was mentioned, when they said, oh, I'm allergic to bees, I thought, okay, the clone is going to get killed by bees. This is how this is going to end.
Yep, this is the final. Yeah.
And then it was just, well, I'm just going to peg him in the neck with some bee venom just to see if it's actually true. Like, really? Is that? I could have done without that.
Well, yeah, the point of it was to tie in to give definite proof, right? There's probably other ways that they could have 100% proven that he is the clone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe during their fight scene, it shows him walking off with like, he pulled off a bandage and has some blood or something, and then he's able to sneak into his dad's lab and find out the information, right? There might have been a better way to do it than to have him shoot him with a bee sting dart. Because here's the problem with it. Allergies are not genetic. Allergies are environmental. So...
Whoa. Are we sure?
Well,
if
brother
his entire DNA is completely the same,
okay,
wouldn't the allergies be transferred as well?
Why?
Because allergies are in the genetic code, I would think.
Right, but you can develop allergies as you get older.
Oh, certainly.
Right.
Yeah.
My point is that, like, he's allergic to bees, but maybe as a kid, Junior was grown up and ate farm fresh honey, and therefore it was in his system so that when a bee stung him, it just hurt like it does most people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't...
Yeah.
It's a stretch, right? It's a stretch, just like the stretchy face and the punchy arms. It was a little bit of a stretch. It didn't really bother me that much until I thought about it, but
yeah,
I was like,
it was just a strange. It wasn't a payoff that we thought was coming, right?
Yeah. And the other, I will say this: there was a hopping man, in my opinion, in this movie, and we've already kind of touched on it, and that was Will Smith's snipering. It never comes back.
No.
Show me sniper things again. Like, that was such a cool shot. And that he's doing that kind of trigonometry in his head. And I wanted to see that. I'm not saying I wanted him to cap Junior with a sniper shot from 2 kilometers. I'm just saying it would have been neat, like when they're attacking the compound or the city or whatever.
Yeah.
That
To
maybe,
factor that skill in.
yeah, like maybe
Yeah.
set Will Smith up in a tower and Overwatch while I want to call him Wong from Avengers.
Yeah.
But while
Man.
while them and Junior are sneaking in to take out, you know, the whatever, and he's that Overwatch or something. I know you want to have Will Smith punching and, you know, kicking people, but it just seemed you're going to show me this great skill set and then never use it again. So that was a little, that was
You know,
kind of a bummer.
I forgot that he was a sniper. Like, now that you mentioned it, I didn't even remember. Like, I knew that he did that, but at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But you're right. I completely forgot after that moment.
Yeah, because he
after
basically
the whole train thing, you never see it again.
Not
and
really.
he basically turned into like a secret agent, is what it was.
There was sometimes, so the only other time he's actually shooting people is when it's the attack on the siege in the town. And there's a couple of moments where like there's some guys that are, it's hard to tell distance, but I'd say a couple 100 feet away shooting on a rooftop, and he just leans around the corner and pop, and he takes them both down. So I mean, it's showing the skill set there. But it's such a quick thing that happens in such a crazy moment that it's hard to like even acknowledge that, oh wow, the movie's showing us that he is a great shot. They just did it so quickly. We didn't get a moment to stay here.
You know, I'm no expert by any means, and I don't know if anyone listens to our show that's in the military that might happen to know the difference, or maybe even a sniper themselves. But I would think that the skill set is a little different for a sniper than it is for someone that can just run through and just pop people. You know, maybe I'm wrong, because I don't know. I think about some of the other movies we've watched about snipers, and they take meticulous time to line up shots, and like you said, do the math in their head and like judge wind and humidity and all this different stuff. But to be able to SEAL Team 6 everything and just, you know.
Yeah, well, I'll simply say that part doesn't bother me, because if you want to, we can use another movie as evidence. You know, it's another farce or a fantastical movie, and that's Shooter. And it's the same thing. Mark Wahlberg is a great sniper who also, him and Michael Pena take on a whole platoon of guys and 2 helicopters with just a couple of guns and a sniper rifle. So, you know, like I'm okay with it though. My point simply is, you showed me this awesome skill set. Now let's go back to it. It's just, you know, kind of my little thing. But there's, you know, heck, they did the same. Well, actually, I'm not going to say what they did in that movie, because I don't think Sam has seen The Accountant yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, so I won't say anything about The Accountant. But so anyway, we haven't really talked much about some of the particulars of the movie. Gemini Man, we've mentioned Ang Lee. Ang Lee directed this, so obviously it's starring Will Smith, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Clive Owen, and CGI Will Smith. Benedict Wong is in it. He's great.
Wait. Can we go back to Clive Owen?
Yeah.
And he looked sickly in this movie. I'm worried about him.
You are?
He looked really skinny in this movie.
Yeah, he's lost some weight. I am glad that he got to fight Junior. And I only mean that because if you're gonna cast Clive Owen to be a bad guy, he needs to punch something. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought was, if all he's gonna be is just the guy that just pulls the strings, then you could get any dude.
Yeah.
Right? Just get anybody. It doesn't matter. Get Pierce Brosnan or whatever. Like, get anybody. Yeah. But if you're gonna get Clive Owen, he's got to punch something. And
get the guy from the New York guy who was in that movie we love. Crap. Cornelius. The Rock is in it.
Oh, Christopher Walken? No.
The Rundown?
Christopher Walken. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Walken could do this as long as he doesn't have to punch
Right?
anybody. I could see him being the crazy military guy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Would that be awesome?
Yeah, no, I'm down for that.
I'm your father. Come here, Junior.
I'm not trying to be mean, but that's the worst Christopher Walken I've ever heard.
Well, that's only because you've never heard mine, but I'm never going to do it. Oh, my gosh, that was great.
Yes. I'm Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
No.
That's like a puppet version, like a Muppet version of Christopher Walken.
I suppose now we have a conversation where you enlighten me.
Mr. Hatcher.
How many more of you are out there? Enlighten me. Where are the rest of your compadres? Enlighten me.
Mr. Hatcher.
What I don't get is why you people so hostile. I've been good to you. I built you a town. Why are we fighting?
Mr. Hatcher.
What?
I'm going to have to go watch that movie again.
Oh my gosh, it's still funny.
What?
Oh,
enlighten me.
I love the way he says enlighten me. Like the second one, when he gets a little yelly. That's my favorite, is a little bit of yelly Christopher Walken. I think it's pretty great.
Every movie needs a good, well, maybe not serious movies. Although maybe has he been in serious movies?
Oh gosh, yeah. Gosh. Well, I mean, he had a serious role in Pulp Fiction. He's only in it for 5 minutes, but
yeah.
I'm sure if we went through his,
I'd take this stopwatch.
I mean, like he doesn't speak, but he has a serious role in Sleepy Hollow, but he never speaks.
Yeah. Boy, what a waste.
Well, here's another waste.
How do you have Christopher Walken and then not have him speak in your movie?
Because he's weird looking. And they give him fangs. There's another movie with Bruce Willis called The Last Man Standing. And they gave him, he had a voice like this. He kind of did that vocal fry, whispered kind of thing the whole movie. And it's like, you have Christopher Walken. Let him be that thing. Don't have him.
Yeah.
He whispers the whole time. Hey, fella, come over here and look at this thing. It's really
trying to be Batman or something.
No, I think it's supposed to. Well, it's because his character is that when he was younger, he got into a fight and he had an ice pick like shoved in his neck or something, and then he and then he killed the guy with the ice pick. He pulled it out of his neck and then killed the guy with it or something. I think they call him Hickey or something. It's a fun movie. It's a dumb Bruce Willis shoot 'em up kind of movie. Anyway, back to this movie. Ang Lee directed. Like I said, that's some of the cast. I was pleasantly surprised that this was a Bruckheimer thing. I honestly didn't know he was still producing stuff.
Really?
Yeah. As soon as I saw the Bruckheimer tree, I thought, oh, okay. And then the music started, and I thought, wow, this sounds like a Bruckheimer film. I don't know who did the score, but it was very Bad Boys 2 sounding. At least it was to me.
Maybe Will Smith got involved with that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Lorne Balfe? Balfe? B-A-L-F-E. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm waiting for his IMDb page to load. For some reason, that's IMDb. Everyone that's, I guess no one's listening to this as we do this, so never mind. But I enjoyed the soundtrack. I thought it was action-y and fun, and I don't know. I had a good time with this movie. I really did. And, oh, here we go. There it is. He has done such films as, he was the composer for, he's going to be the composer for Mission Impossible 7 and 8. Those are coming out 2021 and 2022, so I bet you they're direct sequels of each other.
Which one is the space one?
What?
Didn't Tom Cruise go to space for one of these?
He hasn't yet. Is he going to go to space in a Mission Impossible movie? That sounds like...
I thought so, yeah.
That sounds like a bad idea. Let's see. Composer. He's done a bunch of TV. He did 6 Underground, which we watched.
Woohoo.
Gemini Man. Let's see.
By the way, did you see they're making a sequel to old oh crap.
Old Yeller. The dog comes back and
you beat me to it.
Charlize Theron gig.
Old Guard.
Oh yeah, Old Guard.
Old
Yeah,
Guard,
we
thank
knew
you.
that.
Yeah.
We knew that when we did the podcast. I thought they had already announced the sequel. I thought maybe not. He did Mission Impossible Fallout. Old fist cocking thingy. Pacific Rim, Uprising, Geostorm. The guy's done some work.
Yeah.
He did the Lego Batman score.
That's who needs to be Batman.
Will-
Christopher Walken.
Oh, well, he's already in one Batman. I don't think he could be Batman.
Oh.
So, all right,
Sure, why
that's
not?
cool. He's done some stuff. Man, the guy's done some stuff. So good for him. And he's done a lot of stuff. So good for him. And I noticed the music in this movie and I thought, oh, this is very kind of Bruckheimer. It's like Hans Zimmer adjacent.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. That's it. Let me hit my last bit of my notes real quick. I've already mentioned my Hopping Man. Let's see. Oh, they did a camera shot that I thought was really cool. Now, nowhere near Extraction, but Will Smith hops on the bike and we go down like 4 alleyways and he almost hits like 4 cars. And those are obviously, stunt actor driving people, car things.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes around like 4 turns and then the camera pulls up beside him and it's Will Smith's face. And so either they CGI'd Will Smith onto a stunt guy riding a bike or Will Smith was driving a bike. Either way, I was super impressed with the shot. I thought it was really good. The camera work in this movie I thought was really good. There's not a whole lot of shaky cam stuff, which I appreciate. It's not like in the Bourne movies where it's so shaky cam. You don't really know what's happening. But again, it's Ang Lee. I mean, he's a good director.
Yep.
Let's see. Why do we... Oh, we already have the killer gets too good, conscious, long to kill him. Yeah, okay. Will Smith loves to interrupt people doing their jobs. Like when he just walks in on a Mary Elizabeth Winstead and just like he knows what she is and she's trying to quote unquote still do her job and he's like interrupting people. For some reason, that feels like something he's done before.
Yeah.
So it just felt like that. And then Sam, you mentioned it earlier. Glad Hollywood decided not to do the weird age thing.
Yep. Agreed.
So when she's like, "What, you're attracted to me?" He's like, "Me? God, no. 20 years, 30 years ago? Yeah, maybe, but not now." I was like, "Oh, good for you, Will, or somebody."
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And then I did write, "Damn, now there's 3." So that was the third one was actually a little bit of the twist. I actually, as soon as he started ninja-ing all over the place with a helmet on, I'm like, well, that's the third one.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it before then, is what I guess.
No. Yeah, I just thought it was like another guy when he kind of saluted him, told him to go on and take care of the issue. But then he started doing all that ninja stuff. And I was like, this is either a third one or it's a clone of... to be honest, I thought maybe they cloned Wong as well.
Only if he starts using magic. All right. I got some clips. You guys ready for some clips? Anything else we need to talk about before that? I don't think so. I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to say. The only other thing, I guess I'll say this last thing. Sorry. I think I cut you off, Sam. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
A little bit. Is that... So at the last moment of the action film, before we get into kind of the epilogue, is, Junior wants to shoot Clive Owen, and Will Smith doesn't let him. He says, if you do that, it'll break you, or something.
Yeah.
And so then Will Smith does it because he's already broken. So my initial thought was, oh, he doesn't want him to have to kill his dad. But then I thought, it's not because he doesn't want him to take a life, because he's killed some of those guards, those other soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't want him to kill people. He just doesn't want him to kill his dad, I guess. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the moment when he says it'll break you, it made me think Will Smith is speaking from experience, but it's not like he killed his dad, his own dad.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
He knew what might happen.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're probably right. Just in general, this is a bad thing. You
Yeah.
shouldn't do it. I'll do it.
And he does.
And he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a plow.
Yeah. Gosh.
Glad they had that a little off camera, because that would have been gross.
Yeah, that's a shotgun from 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 inches away.
Yeah.
5 seconds. What's wrong with me? This line made me chuckle.
So this is you cleaning up your own messes.
Spare me the lecture.
It's like watching the Hindenburg crash into the Titanic.
That's a good line. I like that line. That's a good line. Because that's a visual. Like, you can picture that and like see how tragic it would be at the same time. Okay.
I hear an echo.
Yeah. Somebody took their headphones.
Sorry.
It's okay. Here's BD Wong getting excited.
I'm sorry, partner. My Aztec doesn't have that kind of range.
Well, I was hoping we would borrow something that does. Maybe a G?
Whoa. Taking someone's Gulfstream? I mean, you'd really have to love a guy to do that. I know just the fella. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I like BD Wong. So I watched this movie with my wife, as you guys know that I do. And when poor BD Wong gets blown up in the van,
yeah,
my wife turns and looks at me and says, I guess he's not going to Tony Stark's wedding. I was like, damn, that's cold.
Oh, that is cold. That's horrible.
And then I was super proud that she was able to connect it like instantly to Wong and Avengers. I was just, because that's such a funny line. Like, he's like, Wong, you're invited to my wedding, as he flies off, right? Like, it's such a great line. Okay, here we go. I thought this was really good Will Smith kind of thing. Like, this feels like something he kind of just wrote himself. So here we go.
He is you.
How's it even possible?
It's complicated, but it's doable. All you'd really need is a surrogate mother and a DNA sample.
They could clone a person. You think they'd clone more doctors or scientists, not me. They could have cloned Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela couldn't kill a man on a moving train from 2 kilometers away.
She's got a point.
Yeah, she does. I meant to say this earlier, and I didn't write it down, which is why I didn't think about it until just now. This movie also reminds me of another Will Smith movie, which is why I think about it. It reminds me of I, Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only in the fact that he's kind of by himself and he's got an attractive female partner that he has to solve the problem with, and there's no love relationship there either, which is, again, kind of nice. And the thing that is sent to kind of the thing they're supposed to hate each other and they end up becoming friends at the end. It's kind of like iRobot in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And I really like iRobot. I mean, I really like that movie. I think it's great. If we ever did it for the podcast, I would give it high praise because I like the movie a lot. There we go.
And of all the people in the world to come after me, why would he send you? Because I'm the best. You are obviously not the best.
I love that. That is so great. That's such a great line. And it does feel like it just feels
Will
like
Smith
a very
improv.
Will Smith, very Will Smith thing to say. You're right. So, this is the last one. Oh yeah. So this line was in the trailer, but for some reason in this edit, Clive Owen steps on his line, and it kind of annoys me. So anyway, here's the thing.
No, you made a decision to have a scientist make a person out of another person.
No, that's not what it was.
He steps on the line. Let that line breathe. It's such a great line. You made a person out of another person. Let that line have its moment instead of having Clive Owen step on the line. It kind of annoyed me. I don't know. I fully admit.
Is that an editorial choice or is that a directorial choice?
Well, both. I mean, the director is with the editor, but so basically from what I understand, is like the editor kind of does a pass, and the director comes back and goes, "That's a good take," or do we want to look at some other takes? And it just seems like there had to have been a take where that line was clean.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith is delivering it, which means he's not standing there, right? He delivers that line in a studio.
Yeah.
So have the line. No, I don't know. I'll fully admit the West Wing Weekly podcast is like affected me because you're hearing all these stories from writers and stuff, and they're talking about these moments on the show where Aaron makes you pause and just let the moment breathe. Like sometimes there's more to gain in the silence than there is in the dialogue, which is weird to think in an Aaron Sorkin thing. It's all about the dialogue, but there's a lot of times where there's great moments is in the silence. So let that line have a moment to exist before Clive Owen has to go on his, get his back up and be all defensive. Anyway, I know I've spent probably more time than I meant to on a single line.
No, but I totally agree with the idea. It's the same thing in marketing. There's such thing as white space in marketing that helps you give your slogan or give your message across. It helps to have a blank space to do so because it creates attention.
I think that as musicians, we take for granted the silence a lot when we are playing a piece of music or listening to a piece of music. The silence says just as much in some cases as the music does, and it's the same way for a line in a movie or a play, or even reciting a poem or singing. That silence is powerful at times.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I probably spent longer on that than I meant to, but just one of those things that I noticed because again, I knew it from the trailer. It's just one of those things that they say it in the trailer and it's clean.
Yeah.
So anyway, here we go.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
There's some good trivia, but I only captured a couple because these were the ones that popped out to me. So from 2003 to 2010. Nicolas Cage was attached to the project. It was finally due to go into production in 2008, but Cage convinced Jerry Bruckheimer to do The Sorcerer's Apprentice instead.
Thank God, because Nick Cage would have ruined this movie.
Yeah.
And he fit into The Sorcerer's Apprentice pretty well. As much as I don't like him, he did okay in that movie.
Yeah,
but this movie, he would have destroyed it.
Yeah, he's supposed to be weird in that movie.
Yeah.
And it works. You're not wrong. In this movie, some of the other trivia that I read that I didn't write down, but this movie has been in like production hell for like 20 years. And originally they were going to have, I can't remember who the actor was. There was an actor slated before Nicolas Cage in 2003 to do this movie, but they didn't have the computer technology quite to what they wanted it to do, to have like a de-aging kind of a thing, because it's not just the fact that it's the same actor. They need to look different. They need to be 30 years different. And so like I couldn't imagine a Nicolas Cage. I mean, it would be a different movie. It'd just be a very different movie. And even in back, like in 2008, when we still cared about movies he was making, like National Treasure and stuff like that. But I don't think it would have worked. I mean, so Danny, while undercover as the dock clerk, the Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she totaled up Henry's bill as 2346, foreshadowing the plot. In human biology, the fetus inherits 23 chromosomes from each parent, making 46 total for a human being.
Oh,
I thought that was just kind of neat, is all. Okay, now for this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Top 3. Well, we've obviously done Will Smith movies, and I'm pretty sure we've probably done movies where the guy is being attacked by the government. So we decided to do movies where an actor plays multiple roles within the movie.
Woot woot.
Yeah, this is a really good category, and I'm looking forward to hearing.
Now, I'm actually looking forward. Did you even think were you able to find any Star Trek movies?
Yeah, I got.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So when we were before we started recording, I asked the question, how long does it need to be in order for it to fit the requirement? You guys like, it doesn't matter. So,
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Opie.
What do you got, Andrew?
All right.
I honestly almost feel like we should always let Andrew go last because his list is always better than ours.
That is true.
It really is.
I don't think it will be this time. Okay. I think it'll be just okay. Well, so at number 3, I have Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and the Juggernaut.
Wait, he was the Juggernaut?
Yes, he was. But
what?
I don't know that it fully counts because the Juggernaut was mostly CGI.
I'm so
confused.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's the voice of the Juggernaut. I did not
Holy
know that.
crap. No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That is amazing.
So I have a backup. Because I didn't know if that one would count since that's really just a voice.
I think it counts, but that's fine.
So I've got Coming to America as my backup for that one. Number 2, another Eddie Murphy movie called Nutty Professor, which is
I
brilliant.
forgot about that one.
And brilliantly funny.
Yeah.
And then number 1, of course, I have to have Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future 2 and 3 as his own grandpa.
Everything basically, right?
His own sister.
His entire family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those are good. Yeah, those are good. What you got, Sam?
All right. For my number 3, I have Michael Keaton in Multiplicity.
We're gonna go eat a dolphin. No, we're gonna go pet a dolphin. Yeah, we're gonna go pet a dolphin.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
We actually had pizza tonight, and every time we have pizza, it was a pizza, Steve. It's a pizza.
I also put Michael J. Fox in both BTTF 2 and 3. And my number 1, as Sean is going to argue this, is Christian Bale in The Prestige.
Because he's never on screen at the same time, is my point.
But he plays 2 different characters. So
yeah, but not
he's
really.
wrong.
He's not really. He's the same guy.
You're so wrong. So
because he's never on stage at the same time. Again, if you would have said Hugh Jackman in the same movie, that's fine. They're on screen at the same time. They share time. Christian Bale's never.
Yeah,
never
I just
shares
enjoyed the idea of Christian Bale instead of huge character.
Yeah, he throws a ball to himself, but they never inherit the screen at the same time. All right, so my 3 my honorable mention is actually going to be, well, you've already said one, so I'll do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my Eddie Murphy from The Nutty Professor and move that to my honorable mention since it was said, and switching it out. So that means that my number 3 is actually going to be in the movie Star Trek and the Undiscovered Country, which I think we've done for the show. But the shapeshifter turns into Kirk. So there's a part where Kirk is fighting a shapeshifter Kirk. And he says the line to himself, "I can't believe I kissed you," and then responds, "Must have been your lifelong ambition." And then they fight some more. So it's just Kirk as a shapeshifter. So but yeah, it actually does legit work for Star Trek. I was actually surprised for a second. My number 2 is gonna be Jet Li in a movie called The One, where he fights himself.
Really?
Yeah, it's a multiverse concept. There's a multiverse, but there's like 64 universes.
Whoa.
And there are 64 versions of you. And Jet Li finds out that if you kill yourself, there's a cosmic energy that binds the 64. And when you kill one, then that energy is redistributed. So you get a little bit stronger. And then as you keep killing the other ones, you keep getting stronger and stronger because the energy is now divided over less people. Obviously, the logic is there's a little bit of flaw there, but it's an action flick that has Delroy Lindo and a young version. What's his name?
Viggo Mortensen.
No, Handsome Rob. Come on, Andrew.
Joe Pesci.
Wow, it's been a minute since we've had Joe Pesci.
He sneaks in there every now and then.
Yeah, he does. Rob Lowe.
He was Handsome Rob in The Italian Job. He just fought the Meg. He's in the Fast and Furious movies.
He's bald.
Yeah, the British
He
guy.
does the kung fu.
Yeah. Anyway.
Kind of talks like this.
Sorry.
The Transporter.
You said handsome. You said Handsome Rob, and I really thought that you were meaning like Rob Lowe.
No, I know Rob.
Sorry.
Handsome Rob.
No, you're talking about
Jason Statham. Gosh dang it. Yes.
Jason Statham. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
My number one is going to be Mel Brooks, and you can either pick Blazing Saddles or Spaceballs.
Nice.
So there you go.
Because he plays characters in both.
He does. He plays, 2 movies, 4 characters. So they're never in the same screen. I guess. I don't know. That's going against the intent of the category, but I don't really care. Time for this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
We have to give it a score. We have to. I don't know why. We still do it. So we're going to do it. Andrew goes first.
Yeah. So like I said, I think that IMDb is way too low on this, and I think the other critics were a little too harsh on it as well. Because of the action, because of the music, because of the acting, really. And I think going back to what Sam said at the very beginning, the actress Winstead, is that her name?
Yeah, she's our North Carolina connection.
She's not. She didn't bother me at all. I don't think that she enhanced anything very much, but I thought she was fine. I didn't think she. I think you really could put anybody in that role and probably come out okay. Anybody around her age.
I will. Well, real quick, while you're here, just real quick, when she's being walked into the catacombs and she's just chatting because she's giving Will Smith information because she's got the microphone in her mouth, that moment reminded me a little bit of Anna Kendrick in the movie with Sam.
Mr. Right.
Yeah, Mr. Right, where she's like that nervous talking. Like it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but you're not wrong. Honestly, it could have been Anna Kendrick in that role. It could have been kind of really anyone. I don't know if Anna Kendrick can do martial arts like she could, but anyway.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a good 7.2. I don't think I can go any higher, just because I don't know that I want to watch it again. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I didn't get disinterested at any time, and only was taken out of the film a couple times by little things here and there.
Yeah, that's cool. Sam.
Yep, I'm kind of right there with Andrew. It's a decent film. I'm glad I watched it, and I don't know if I would watch it again unless I'm forced to. But it's at least something decent to pass the time. Let me give it a 7.05 out of 10.
Nice. Okay.
To help out. So it's a decent movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of with you guys there too. It's great. I mean, it's not great. It's good. There's some really good action. I mean, in a movie that, there's not a lot of original stuff. The stuff we talk about all the time. Show me something new. Show me something different, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's the same, kind of the plot's a little bit the same. We still get Will Smith saying funny things and punching people, and that's kind of the same. There's a couple of jokes that they keep throughout, the thread of Will Smith says he's 50 and someone corrects him, he's 51. Like there's some of those kind of things throughout the movie that make it hold up. And again, this is a good director. This is not, just some dude that we've never heard of. This is Ang Lee. This is an Oscar, winning. I think he's won Oscars. If not, he should have for at least Life of Pi, which I still haven't seen yet. Aunt Sam, I know you. I know you were.
Read the book first. Read the book.
So but I liked it. It was a good movie. I had a good time with it. So you guys were in the 7s. I'm in the 7s too. I think I probably liked it just a smidge more. So I'm just gonna say 7.3. Will Smith.
Wow, we're really close. Everybody's really close on this one.
It's just. It's a fun movie, and you both said you probably wouldn't watch it again. I'm kind of with you there, unless someone said, "Hey, I want to watch it." Okay, but I'm probably not. I don't have the time where I can go, I have nothing else to watch in the world right now. I'll watch this Will Smith movie again. I don't have that kind of time right now. But that's okay. That's it. That's that part of the show. We have this last little bit of business, which I still don't have a thing for. So I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play this. I didn't mean to play that. We're gonna play. There wasn't a montage in this movie.
I'm trying to think about it. I don't think there was.
So I'm gonna play this.
Excuse me.
There we go. A little dark man. Quote the quote game real quick. Last week we had a quote of something. I guess you all probably know what it is. Here's quote number 5, which I think you guys will 100% know, and that's fine. But the quote is, "Show me the money."
Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Every time.
It
is weird that I have a poster of 101 quotes, and they all seem to be Jurassic Park. It's really strange.
It's a very quotable movie.
It is a quotable movie. You're not wrong. And, I actually haven't scrolled through to see if there is anything from Star Trek. I don't think there would be. Because the Star Trek quote everybody knows is from the TV show, and it's wrong. So... Live
long and prosper?
No, well, I guess maybe live long and prosper. I was thinking of Scotty beam me up, which is never said. Just like Vader doesn't say, "Luke, I'm your father." He says, "No, I'm your father," but everyone says Luke.
Yeah.
It's just one of those Mandela effect things. That's that. So this is the last bit of business before I wrap the show out and you guys officially tune me out for the rest of the day. And that is, Andrew had a really brilliant idea. I'm going to give you full credit on this one, Andrew. You had a really great idea that this month, February, which is Black History Month, we're going to kind of pay honor to that, which we've never done. Shame on us. We've never done it. So we're going to do it this month. We're going to watch movies that feature Black actors and or directors, and I just think that's a really really great idea. So thank you, Andrew. So I've thrown out the list, and we're gonna change it up. So next week, instead of doing what we were going to do, we are now going to do Hidden Figures. Now it's only
I have not seen or even heard of until now.
Yeah, I've tried. You hadn't even heard of it. So yeah, I
can't believe you haven't heard of it.
I know, right? And when Opie described it, I was like, something that I would have watched. So
yeah, you'll like it.
Yeah, you'll like it. You definitely wear your Bose headphones.
Okay, definitely.
Hidden Figures. It's only on Disney Plus. So if you don't have the Disney Plus and you want to watch it, either you're gonna have to rent it or, get Disney Plus. So we're gonna do Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to Andrew. Did you just say you hadn't seen it either?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's been a while.
A couple years, because I think it came out like 3 years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Octavia Spencer's in it, and I think Kevin Costner and the guy that played Sheldon. That's the only people I know from without looking at the IMDb page. That's it. So that's it. That's next week. Hidden Figures. We may have a guest on the show. I don't know. Scheduling is weird with some people. Honestly, it's kind of week to week. So there you go. That's it. That's our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm only going to ask this of you. You guys, at this point, you know how to find our information. Cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. Basically, it's just the best way to get find old episodes. If you want to email the show, cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. You guys know what that stuff is. I'm asking you. This is all I'm going to say, and then I'm going to end the show. I'm asking you. Help get the word out that we do on this show. We've been doing the show 7 years. I'd really love to grow the audience. We don't advertise. I don't try to make money off this stuff. None of us make money off this. This is our hobby. But I'd love it if we can grow the show, and it has grown. Honestly, it actually has grown. The January was the best month we've had in about a year, and it was really cool to see the numbers grow. So you guys are helping us out.
Wait, you don't make money from this?
No, and I know you're being silly, but no.
What are you guys doing wrong?
Yeah. Whenever I see people on the podcast Facebook community, they're like, "Oh, I only made $8,000 from my show last month. What am I doing wrong?"
Like, shut up.
I know. I'm like,
just shut up.
Good for you.
I'll start sharing. I didn't realize you weren't getting any of it.
Yeah. So simply, if you like the show, please tell somebody, share it on social media. Share the Facebook link, share a tweet that I send out. Anything would be great. Leave us a review on iTunes. It's the best way to get other people to find it. That's really, it would be very helpful if we can get the rating. The rating is great. We just need more of them because all the people that have left reviews have been really nice, which I appreciate. We just need more. It would be really great if we could somehow crack the top 200. It would just be amazing. So that's what I ask of you, and I'm just going to end it at that. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the show, and we'll see you next week for Hidden Figures.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.